I'm Abirul Vej. I'm one of the interventional cardiologists at Cook County Hospital in Chicago. I am the director of endovascular interventions and an assistant professor of medicine at Rush University Medical Center. I have Dr. Eileen Gajo with me, who is an extraordinary interventional fellow at Rush and Cook County. Eileen, why don't you tell us about yourself?
Sure. Like Dr. Vij said, my name's Eileen Gajo. Originally from California. Came to Chicago to do my internal medicine training. I was trained at University of Chicago North Shore, did a chief residency there for 1 year. Was accepted for cardiology fellowship at Rush University, and then continued my training for interventional fellowship as well at Rush.
Oh, great. Thank you. So tell me about your career goals, Eileen, briefly.
So career goals for right now are to hopefully apply for a structural fellowship.
Mm-hmm.
After that, it really depends in terms of where I'll be working for, whether it'll be academic or whether it won't be academic. Those, I think, decisions have yet to be determined. But for right now, the goal is to apply for structural fellowship.
Absolutely. I'm sure any program will be lucky to have you. You're great at what you do. So I wanted to ask you about your experience with the interventional cardiology kind of fellowship process.
So for interventional cardiology, of course, during my time right now, there is no match process. When I was interviewing for general cardiology, I specifically wanted to look for a program that had an interventional fellowship already, or that had some sort of ties to an interventional fellowship. I knew before I even interviewed for general cardiology that I wanted to do interventional, and then knew that I wanted to do structural as well. Right. So when I interviewed, I was looking for a program already that had that.
Okay. But in your interventional cardiology spot, what we are proposing now from SCAI is to move towards an interventional cardiology fellowship match process, similar to what we have in general cardiology, and similarly now what EP is doing as well. I think, yeah, the biggest pro in my mind, and I say this because I've been through this just 4 years ago, is that when you're not going into a match and you're going by interviews one after the other with the expectation that I'm hoping you're interviewing at these places because you want to match there. A lot of times what happens is you interview at your first or second place and they offer you, and it's a take it or leave it kind of a offer, right? So you have to respond like in 3 days or a week, and then once that happens, you kind of get pressurized into making decisions that may not be as informed as if you had gone through all of them. But yeah, you have to kind of balance the pros and cons, and for many, it may be that they want to see through all the programs, especially people, let's say, who want to go into, let's say, programs which specialize in something different. Let's say you want to train in a center which does more structural, or which does more peripheral, or which does more chip kind of work, and you are not in one of those programs. So the only way you can now interview outside is if you say no to your program and then move outside, which is a very difficult decision to make, I can tell you, because it's hard to say no to someone offering you an interventional fellowship in hopes that you're going to find a better one, right? So,
it could absolutely be incredibly difficult to have that rolling offer that we currently go through right now, because you don't know if you turn it down and then you go to the next program, is that next program not going to offer you anything, and then all of the doors are closed, right?
I think that was the whole point, and the idea behind the match is to actually, as you said, balance everything, and everyone has the opportunity to go through everything, make a decision. Programs get to choose, you get to choose, but yes, it does add the financial cost to it, and the uncertainty as well, because now the whole process is delayed, right? Because initially you go to your first interview in October, you're offered, you're done. Now the process has shifted by 3 or 4 months, and as we were discussing, it kind of delays some places you can actually start behaving like an interventional fellow in your third year, because you start taking over more
Right.
calls, more rotations, and then you start to get better at interventions even before you've started your fellowship. But mostly applies, I guess, when you're in your home state, home program.
Right. You know, maybe I am biased because I'm very fortunate that it worked out very well for me. So during my third year, like I said, I was able to basically start my interventional year early because I knew far in advance that I was going to be here. You know, I didn't have to go through the entire process of waiting and
Right.
then, you know, uprooting my family just on the day of the match. So
No,
yeah.
that's a very good point. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is something SCAI should proceed with pushing? What would you support something like this in terms of would you support an interventional match if you were to choose one?
Would I support an interventional match? I think it would be something that SCAI should try. Um, Again, it's very different from my perspective. It was very different for me, but just thinking about other candidates and what other opportunities people might have, I think that
Mhm.
it's something that SCAI should try.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
would have a similar opinion. I think because I've been in your shoes as well, and I agree. I think it's something that if programs do want to keep internals, an option would be to take them outside of match and not be in the match. Right.
Right. There are plenty of programs that
Right.
have, you know, they just don't join the match if they already know
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
are, but if they already know that they're going to take internally,
Right. Right.
that happens not just with cardiology, it happens with
Absolutely.
other, you know, specialties as well.
Mhm.
So, you know, there might not be necessarily a downside to trying a match process for interventional. Yeah,
No, I agree. Thank you so much, Eileen. This was
of course.
very helpful. Thank you for your time, and let's hope we can get this moving forward.